I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Welcome back to Hoops, the podcast. Colorado and Lynch. Lynch was just alluding to the idea that we have been cranking it, trying to get ahead of the schedule a bit, just in case summer fun impedes us from adhering to our schedule. I got a couple weddings coming, plus my LA trip, which 3rd of August, I'm in Pasadena, California at the Ice House. 18th of July, the Stand Comedy Club, if there's still tickets, come out to that. Will be a great show. I'm running some of my new material as I get ready to figure out what I'm doing with my special, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway,
Skirt.
we're ripping it.
I have a show August 1st at Gaff East in New York, a little comedy competition. So I'll be posting more info about that in the coming days on my socials. So check me out at Ron Is Really Polite. I'll keep you guys updated there.
Gaff East. Go check out Lynch. Where is that?
It's in the Upper East Side. Have you performed there?
Mm-mm. What is it? It's a comedy club?
It's a comedy club.
Oh,
I don't know
nice.
if it's Gaff East or GAF East.
Interesting. Is it new?
I don't know. It's the venue for a Tight Pants comedy Type 5 competition.
Oh, cool.
So I don't know.
Well, good luck to Lynch there. Love a little competition and, get it done. So here we are, middle of summer.
Dude, I regret my haircut. Instant regret.
But didn't you get it a while ago?
A couple weeks ago.
And
I regretted it. So I got a buzz cut because my brother got a buzz cut. And my brother's buzz cut looked a lot cooler than the buzz cut that I got. And I got a buzz cut from the same guy that gave my brother a buzz cut. And the buzz cut looks completely different than his. And I said, I want my brother's buzz cut. And he said, I'll give you my brother's buzz cut. And I'm not too happy about it. I feel like people look at me and think to themselves that I look like if Caillou went to Turkey to get a hair transplant and it went poorly. That's how I feel when I make eye contact with people.
When I first saw you with the haircut, I thought that maybe you just had hat head. But I started to realize that it was just a little bit of an awkward haircut. Didn't want to say anything. Didn't want to make you feel bad. But
I didn't invite you to say things like awkward,
by
the way.
Yeah.
I didn't invite that.
Well, you kind of did.
Not really. I was opening up to you, hopefully without any response.
I mean, look, dude, you mentioned the haircut being awkward. At that point, it felt as if I had opened for him to comment on it.
Yeah, well, you also had an opportunity to put me at ease and
Well,
be like,
but-
actually, it's the best haircut. I'd rather you lie to me.
Dude, we're talking about your hair from 2 weeks ago. Now it looks better.
Thanks.
There was still some. So anytime I've seen Lynch take his hat off in the past couple of weeks, I've been like, all right, maybe he just has hat head. And there's a little bit of a I just woke up thing that is unavoidable for some reason with it as well.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
It's just kind of growing in a way where it's like you shaved your own head type of thing.
Why? Where it's like feathering up on the back?
It's sort of.
It's like a bed frame. The back of the corners of my head look like a bed frame, or what's that? The Skull Candy headphones devil. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
That's kind of what it looks like. Yeah, it's not aging well. I thought maybe it would look better. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
But you wore a hat over here today, right?
Yes, because I'm filled with shame.
No, I think that there's like a little hat head going on with this currently, bro. And I'm not walking back my earlier criticism. Occasionally in life we get a bad haircut. I had a bad one earlier this summer. Actually, mine was worse than yours, actually. I got laughed at by Hillary the second I walked in the door.
Damn.
I don't know if you experienced anything similar.
Vic walked to the backyard of the basement of the stranger that gave me that haircut and watched mid-buzz, and she covered her mouth. And at the time, I thought it was oh my God, that's so fucking sexy. And I've come to realize that it probably was her covering a giggle.
If you have the same haircut for your whole life, that's pretty lame, dude. It's good to mix it up, Lynch.
Yeah.
It's better to get a haircut that you don't love. You still look good. You're still, you're looking yoked. This shirt is very muscular friendly. It's a very muscle friendly shirt.
Thank you. It's the type of fabric that whether you go to the gym or not, the sleeves are going to hug you as tightly as possible.
Exactly.
The same way that your mother wants every ounce of your attention at all times.
The sleeves
never
are
wants to let go.
needy.
They're very needy. It's
They
giving
cling to you.
It's giving mom after a 4-hour day trip to visit her.
Yes.
So that's it. Yeah, the hair's fine. It's okay. I've gotten used to it, and I've just gotten familiar with my rotation of hats that are in my closet. So we'll be there in a couple weeks. So it's all good. I'm not even like that bothered by it. I brought it up though, and I feel like I'm wasting our time. There's nothing else to say about my haircut.
Lynch, hey, listen, pal. You can't just bring something like this up and then expect not to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
So you invited this.
I did, but I'm ready to move on.
Okay, Lynch, we
Please.
can stop talking about your appearance now.
I have stuff, but you go, please.
Okay. Dude, you all right?
I'm fine. Actually, I came in such a good mood today.
You're good.
Everything's fine.
Good.
Yeah.
You're great. All
Yeah,
right.
seriously.
Yeah, Lynch was having a nice time in here. He was live on TikTok. He was listening to some Justin Bieber. He was rocking and rolling. He's ready for some big stuff.
Ready for some big stuff.
big
What
stuff.
does that mean?
I mean, look, dude, we're a little ahead of schedule here recording. So as we record this, we're going into sort of a little bit of a downtime, couple days off. And, are you excited about it or what?
I'm looking forward to some beach time.
You have some nice plans?
Going up to Mass, gonna hang out at the Cape.
Very nice.
A little family time with Vix.
Did you guys learn about the pilgrims in school? I wonder if growing up in sort of like New England or on the cusp of New England, if that is a thing that you're more likely to learn about there, or if that's a thing that everybody in America is learning about.
I don't know.
Do you remember?
No.
Yeah, I remember not enjoying learning about like colonial America for whatever reason. The wigs were weird. Like we learned about it so much that I really tired learning about it.
Mm-hmm.
George Washington into, that first whatever amount of time, Revolutionary War, blah, 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 settling, discovering America kind of bored me at the time.
Yeah. The only way I think that I could get interested in learning those phases of history is if HBO or Netflix were to do some sort of dramatic adaptation of those shows. Even if they pull some of the truth, I feel like I'd have a better general knowledge of the time periods, and I'd be willing to learn about it. Because the way the mediums in which it was taught to us was not setting us up for success unless we were interested in that to go into it.
I think there's a Benjamin Franklin show that's either out or coming out.
Michael Douglas,
if you're interested in getting involved in that.
I
Shout out to
haven't seen
MD. I haven't watched it either.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Pilgrims, it's funny to know that you learned this sort of watered down version of history as a kid. And then you find out sort of like the more gruesome and brutal realities of it, even from the way that we learned about Christopher Columbus to the way that it seems like people are learning about it now. It's interesting to learn sort of that what you were learning. Either the perception of it has changed or if it was legitimately like propagandized to you as a kid. Sometimes it's hard to kind of know the difference. I think people just broadly believed that the Christopher Columbus story like wasn't that fucked up back then. And now more people are like, all right, that's not great.
Only within the last like 10 or 15 years too.
Yeah.
Makes you think like what else is really fucked up that's been kind of hidden or retold.
Right. And like you heard the story, it's like, oh yeah, like we came here and brought disease and shit and like everybody got all sick and whatever. But, you learn about the Pilgrims showing up and them with the natives shaking hands and eating turkey together or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Thus Thanksgiving.
Not
Speaking
sure.
of the turkey trot.
Not sure it was that amicable.
A lot of people who listen to our pod who are maybe 10, 15 years younger than me, a lot of them will kind of ask me for some investment advice, how I think they can save for their future. They're like, well, I don't have money now, but one day when I do, I want to invest it. And I remind them, you actually don't need a lot of money to invest. There are ways to sort of slowly chip away at investing and trying to make a solid situation for yourself in the future. And one of those ways and one of those avenues that you can use is Acorns.
Acorns. Today's episode is sponsored by Acorns. Acorns makes it easy to start automatically saving and investing for you, your kids, and your retirement. You don't need a lot of money or expertise to invest with Acorns. In fact, you can get started with just your spare change. Acorns recommends an expert-built portfolio that fits you and your money goals, then automatically invests your money for you. And now, Acorns is putting their money into your future. Open an Acorns Later IRA and get up to a 3% match on new contributions. That's extra money for your retirement.
Yeah, and the earlier you start investing for your retirement, just the more money that you're going to have when you retire. So start as soon as you can and start making a little dent, and you'll be amazed at how much will accumulate over time. That's why I think Acorns is a great tool. At least I know that by using Acorns, I don't even really notice that it's happening. And all of a sudden I check my Acorns account and I'm like, would you look at that? I didn't even notice that that was happening.
The whole point is kind of for having that, moment.
The moment is what we are searching out, Lynch. Anyway, head to acorns.com/oops or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today. Paid client endorsement compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/oops.
You ever had a big sneeze that made you nervous?
I don't know. So the only thing about sneezing that makes me nervous is that it's gross. So like if I do a big sneeze, like I don't want people to be grossed out the way that I'm grossed out by people who are doing a big sneeze.
Mm-hmm. I try to not sneeze, which I've heard is very bad for you. Like
really?
Like you to hold it. I've heard that holding it isn't good. A lot of people are like, just let it out. You need to let it out. But I never want to make anybody think that I'm gross with a sneeze.
How do you feel about your sneeze in general?
I think I'm pretty solid. I burrow my head so deep into my arm that no one knows that I'm sneezing. It's a stealth sneeze, to say the least.
Good. That's good.
How about you?
I think my sneeze is okay. There are some sneezes in my family that are pretty aggressive. So I'm always like trying to make sure I'm softening my sneeze. Mm-hmm. Because if I were to go too hard, I'd be like those sneezes that I think are gross. Mm-hmm. We don't need that.
Yeah. My grandfather has a violent sneeze, and he's a very bashful guy, and Alfonso. And so when he sneezes, if he sneezes more than twice, he turns red because he's embarrassed. Pop gets embarrassed because he's doesn't even sound like a sneeze. It more so sounds like he's like yelling or barking.
Yeah, those are like a very. And I've talked about this at some point on a past episode, but some people have funny sneezes, which you got to respect a funny sneeze, but you don't like a sneeze that is sort of like a wet projectile sneeze where that sprays and it's like just nasty. Even if you're like covering your mouth, the wetness kind of explodes from the sides and the top of your hands.
Yeah.
Gross.
Kind of like, when you use a sprinkler and you change the settings so that it sprays like 180 degrees.
Yes, exactly.
Sprays out at all angles.
Yeah,
I get that. There was someone that I went to school with. Whenever she sneezed, she would always try to cup it like she's catching a lightning bug. And she'd always end up having to like get up and go to the bathroom to wash her hands because there were boogies all over her hands. I just never thought that was effective, but she consistently did that. Yeah.
Gross.
Do you ever play Zip Zap Zop?
No, what's that?
It's like a big icebreaker game. People, we would do it before play practice in middle school, but essentially everybody stands in a circle. You have your hands like this and you point at somebody and you say zip. And then that person points at someone else, says zap, points at someone else, zop. And then you keep doing it and then you add a new person to do it. And if you mess up, you're out. We got to the final round of Zip Zap Zop. There's probably like, there were 3 people left, and this one kid, someone went zip, somebody went zap, and the tension is, you could hear a pin drop. Everyone was so invested on who's gonna win, and the guy, he went to go zop, and as he went down, a ball of phlegm flew out of his mouth and landed on the ground. And if you could hear a pin drop, you could hear the
gross.
And everyone just stared at it. And he went down and he rubbed it against his sleeve. And that's him.
Jesus.
Forever.
This game, you have to, like, nobody can be hit twice.
You just can't. You basically are hoping that someone stutters and forgets what is what. Because there's multiple rounds of zip, zap, and zop going around. So you may accidentally say zip when you should say zap, zop when you're supposed to say zip.
So you can do to me, I can point at that guy, and then that guy can point back at me.
Yes.
And then I can point back at you.
Yep. and you just keep doing it.
If you wanted to be annoying, you could just keep going,
You could.
and then everyone would be like, "Dude,
yeah.
you're ruining the
The
game."
teacher would interfere.
Yeah, you hate to see that.
That was for me one of my favorite moments in middle school.
The dude's Fleming on the floor
Yes.
just because it was awkward for him.
Yes. You don't want to be with me right now. I'm being a little mean.
No, this is just a weird Lynch, guys. Like Lynch has come in hot today, and it's good. It's good. We like to see the man spreading his wings. Hopefully, not the way that a projectile sneeze would be, but Lynch has got all the gross stories today, and he's also ready to fucking take people down.
I am ready to take people down. I feel bad that you don't have someone else to look at right now for like, oh my God, like what is he, like you're stuck with me. It's just me and Julio in this room right now, and we have to push through.
It's all right. No, it's good. It's good.
I appreciate your patience.
Absolutely, dude.
These are things these are things on my mind.
Well, dude, I had these annoying kids this annoying fucking kid zipped by me on a scooter on the sidewalk and like almost took me out. He's probably going 10 miles an hour and like wobbling. Like this kid is going to crash if he didn't crash immediately after. It was so fucking annoying. And his boy was behind him. So he's kind of riding much more reasonably. He's going slow, and I see him, and I'm annoyed at him because I was already so annoyed at this other kid. So I looked at him, would kind of give him a dirty look, and the other kid goes, "He's stupid. I know, bro. I'm sorry." And I was like, "Oh, that just like made it way better."
He was very self-aware in the sense that he like was fucking like that was fucked for
He
him
was
to do that.
He was he knows that his friend's a moron who was wobbling by me, and then when he arrived, going a much more reasonable pace. And he knew that I was sort of looping him in with the friend, which I was right to do because it was his friend, it turns out. He was able to sort of apologize on behalf of his friend.
It sounds like he's tried to get him to stop, and he has no control over his friend.
You need to try to not be that person in your relationships where you have a friend who does whatever he wants and you are the one who's reasonable and apologizing for him instead of living your own life. That sounds kind of exhausting.
Yeah. I bet that guy's a really good person.
The second guy seemed like he has potential.
Mm-hmm.
The second guy seemed like he has potential.
What did you say in response to his apology?
I think I just went like, I just like nodded and was like, all right, you're lucky for now. As if it's not like I was going to do anything, but I was less upset.
Yeah.
I was sending less negativity out into the world.
Less upsetness.
Once I heard that from him.
Was this on the sidewalk?
This
was he scootering on the
was
sidewalk?
on the sidewalk, yes.
Okay.
On like 14th Street and like 3rd Avenue, like a busy, at night too, like a busy time in that area in Manhattan.
Nothing angers me more than when I see somebody on a bike on the sidewalk.
Dude, it drives me
especially a narrow one.
Oh yeah, bike on the side. The top 3 things with bikes: bike on the sidewalk, bike on the subway train when it's crowded. Ugh. You have a bike. Why are you on the train? You have a way to get there. Why are you using the train? And then number 3 is going the wrong way in the bike lane.
Yeah.
Because it's like I look both ways on a one-way street because of bikes. Because they are zipping in the wrong direction. And I wish that there were something that we could easily do to make them pay for what they're doing. Like zap them. Like I wish they had a dog collar built into the bike. And if you go the wrong way, people can zap you.
Yeah. There's going to be, within the next 10 years, there's going to be some sort of system in place, whether it's the police policing bikers or something with the cameras that are above the stoplights, because they do that in some areas where they'll ticket you without pulling you over if you're speeding.
Right. And they could do that on a bike. That would be good.
They should. It is really dangerous. I know we talk about bikes a couple. It is dangerous, and there's no punishment. You can do whatever you want on a bike.
Maybe there's a way to like when you log into your city bike or whatever, there'll be some existing license plate on the bike already, but it adds your unique QR code or something, which then if you go do something wrong, then you get ticketed.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I think that's a great idea. Have you heard about any of this congestion pricing stuff?
I've heard that it was being implemented, then it's been delayed.
Yeah. So
and that's where we're at. Sometime later this year.
The governor stopped it. And maybe it's because she's trying to get reelected or something. But basically, there was supposed to be this crazy thing where if you drive north or south of like 57th Street, you get charged $20. It was very unpopular. Everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is crazy. This is already such a like nickel and dimey city where like everything, the prices of everything is constantly going up. It's an expensive place to live in every possible way. So to add this crazy thing on, everyone was pissed. So the governor stopped it, very popular, but now the city's like pushing back. The city's like, why? Like the city spent $700 million putting the equipment in that would like monitor it. And now they're not going to use it, which is satisfying to me because I'm like, fuck you, city. Right. But they're all bad. So now they're starting this propaganda campaign where they're like, oh, you're annoyed about the G train being down? Well, if there was congestion pricing like we were supposed to, then we wouldn't be behind schedule.
Why would that make it behind schedule?
Because the money that they were going to get from the congestion pricing was supposed to go toward this maintenance for the city.
Got it. Yeah. And so now it's just delayed indefinitely?
Now it is delayed indefinitely, yeah.
Wow.
She delayed it at least till after until the election, which will be for the governor as well, which I think is in November. Obviously the same way that the presidential one is.
And what's the equipment? Is it like on a stoplight? Are there like toll booths?
I don't specifically know, but it's the same as sort of the remote cameras that get you for speeding or get you when you go through a red light. It's like a similar kind of idea. Yeah. So they had to install new ones for this congestion thing, and $700 million.
How does that cost $700 million?
I don't know.
That sounds like a fuck you number. We're just gonna charge it for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like the military. It's like every single little thing costs like $10 million would do absolutely nothing when it comes to like defense spending.
Yeah.
Like I think that, dude, can you look this up? Like an F-16 or whatever the modern fighter jet is, I think they cost like over $1 billion each or something. I might have made that number up, but dude, that is outrageous.
F-16, $63 million.
Like there's new planes, like look up like newest fighter planes, how much they cost. I'm way off with the F-16, obviously, but I think that's an old plane.
You still have you have a fabulous batting average with
I appreciate that.
guesstimates.
I appreciate that.
Newest fighter plane cost.
I was way off, but 90 million each.
Yeah, 90 million.
90 million each. That's the F-22 Raptor, 350 million. Like some of these things just are crazy amounts of money. 117 million for the F-15. Yeah. So anyway, these are like crazy numbers.
Dumb money.
And dude, like the idea that, so like when you crash one of those or something and something goes wrong, which it happens in combat, you know what I mean? Like inevitably you're going to get hit with a missile sometime and you eject and then $100 million just goes into the ocean. Like that's wild. So anyway, it's crazy how much shit costs, to your point, and 700 mil to set up the city for this sort of congestion pricing thing. It's like, why don't you just use the 700 mil to pay for the stuff you want to pay for? I guess the city just needs so much money to keep itself going. I don't have any sort of idea or ability to conceptualize like how that money could be being used, to your point.
Yeah, it's fishy.
It's just like crazy. And I mean, I get stuff costs a lot of money, but like think about how many buildings there are. Think about how uniquely designed the whole city is. Just like maintaining all this shit. The bridges are old. Like you constantly have to pay to fix them. It's just so much money.
Yeah. Yeah, they're closing down the F train, I think, for 8 weekends this summer for some sort of mandatory track maintenance.
That's shitty. The G, do you know what the G situation is? I think it's just like closed, period. Like,
I think it is closed period. I don't take the G. Isn't the G close to you?
Yes.
That's like a big deal.
So it's not only because well, it is and it isn't. The last stop is my stop with the current changes, which is fine if I have to go south, but if I have to go north, there's this like shuttle bus that you have to take.
Yeah.
So I don't have any idea of what that's going to be like, which is going to like fuck my airport commute up a bit, which is annoying.
That is annoying. Yeah, it seems like it's going to end on September 3rd.
Jesus. So the whole summer north of Nassau, it's closed. That's what it's saying?
No, there's different phases.
I guess I will survive ultimately, but that still sucks. All right, quickly, Lynch. People have been sending me a lot of Chipotle related DMs in relation to what you have done and the movement that you have sort of started. Do we have any updates on this?
Yeah, I guess the latest update, just to bring everyone up to speed from when we last spoke about it, the CEO went on the news about a month ago and denounced the claims that the portions are inconsistent. He praised the value of the portions that everybody gets when they come in. A few weeks after that, Wells Fargo, some analysts over there, some loyal activists went out and bought 75 burrito bowls, and he would weigh them, and there was a drastic inconsistency in the portion sizes across them, contradicting the CEO's claim that Chipotle is always giving consistent portions. So it's great awareness. I think that we've done our job. The stock price of Chipotle continues to rise. So I don't know what more we can do. It's kind of snowballed into this massive, massive movement online of screaming and shouting and inaction. And I've conveyed my plan to everybody. I've conveyed my solution, the best way to get at Chipotle, which is to go in, order, not happy with the portions, let them build it and walk out. A lot of people have gone viral for telling people to leave negative reviews on the App Store, to what else? Just to continue just to berate them online and hope for there to be change. Let's sign a petition. A petition's not going to do that. Walk in, walk out, waste their money. So that's all I have to say. A lot of people are asking for me to keep saying more about it. There's nothing else to say. That's the plan.
So my question is, are you the sole individual who started this? This all started because of your TikTok.
I think so.
That's crazy, dude.
And other influencers have gotten involved, like Keith Lee. He's a big food reviewer. And now that a lot of people found out about the movement through him. So I can't take full credit, but I do think I was the first person to get the ball rolling. How
do you feel about that?
I feel good. My socials have grown significantly because of that, and so I'm kind of at I'm in a tough spot because I've talked to you about this, but whenever I'm posting comedy content, a lot of my audience is like, "Wait, this isn't Chipotle. Dance monkey, dance, get back in your lane." And so pushing through that to do my passion has been a little difficult lately when the money and the demand is for me to denounce Chipotle.
The Chipotle movement needs their strong leader. You feel as if the goal has been accomplished, so you find yourself in a difficult place where the people want more Chipotle, you want to do other stuff. This is like we were talking about playing your hits at the concert.
Yeah.
They want to hear Chipotle, and you want to play other songs.
Yeah, we learned in economics about the diminishing margin of utility, which is when more and more of something is added, it means less and less and less. So I made 20 videos. If I make 20 more videos, the message means less because it's just muddled in less passion. It's muddled in a broader statement. It just means less. The 20 videos, that's everything that needs to be done. That's everything that needs to be said. Anything else is redundant and a waste of everybody's time. I don't want to waste their time. I don't want to waste my time. There's nothing else to say. So.
Well said.
Yeah. But I do appreciate when people send me over updates and stuff. I'm very involved and interested in the updates. It's just the calling on saying more. There really is nothing else of value to provide. So that's why I've kind of stopped.
Excellent. Well, listen, guys, we'll see if the Chipotle Knight comes out of hiding when he's needed. Mm-hmm. For now, it seems as if his job is done here. But, fear not. He will find a new cause or a new thing to keep you excited with if he has not already. But Chipotle will live on, but hopefully knowing that they can't just do whatever they want with impunity.
Yeah, realign expectations.
Right.
So
hopefully we will not get to a place where we need a petition.
Yeah. Leave us a comment of what colored wallpaper you had in your childhood bedroom.
Oh, wow.
Curious about that.
Specific.
Leave that in the comments on the YouTube section. Make sure to sub to the YouTube channel. We really appreciate that, even if you just check out the video version. and send us emails at oopsthepodcast@gmail.com. What's going on with you?
Hit us with some comments and shit on the YouTube if you're watching, and let us know what's going on, what you're thinking. You already know my schedule. I kind of told you at the beginning, but New York, Pasadena, St. Pete, July, August, and September. And yeah, more dates coming. Buy some merch, oopsthepodcast.com, oopsthepodcast@gmail.com for emails. We got a couple fun ones that we'll play around with next episode. I'm Gallerati. He's Lynch. We'll see you next episode.